according to my astrologer, it's just about 137 days till St. Patrick's Day.
This is important information.
This calls for an Irish song tonight. And Veronica's going to tell you about that, okay?
Well, good evening, everyone. Who Threw the Overalls in Mrs. Murphy's Chowder is the song we're going to do tonight. It's a popular song. It was written by George L. Geifer in 1898.
Doesn't sound too
and
Irish.
Originally recorded by Edward M. Favor in 1901. Neither of these gentlemen do we know anything about.
Had to be a scratchy recording in 1901, right?
It was finally recorded by somebody we do know, Bing Crosby,
right,
in 1956.
Not scratchy.
Now, the song describes an incident in which a pair of worn-out overalls are found in a batch of Mrs. Murphy's large pot of chowder. Oh, my goodness. Tim Nolan, who discovered the overalls, immediately assumes it was a prank.
Right.
And promises to inflict pain on the Mick who threw the overalls. Mistress Murphy, upon realizing the ruckus, admits she had forgot to take the overalls out of the pot.
Maybe she was tippling
after she had been using it for laundry earlier in the day. At which point, Nolan apologizes to the group and puts to music his words and sing the chorus. The song has enjoyed some popularity with Irish Americans. I think it's enjoyed a lot of popularity. And it's associated with St. Patrick's Day, the holiday, and is sometimes played during the holiday. However, sometimes it's edited to remove elements of the song that can be construed to disparage the Irish.
We're not worried about disparaging anybody.
No, we wouldn't.
Mrs. Murphy gave a party just about a week ago. Everything was plentiful. The Murphys, they're not slow. That is to say, they always laid out a great spread, including Mrs. Murphy.
Put a good table.
Oh, my. They treated us like gentlemen. We tried to act the same. But what did happen that night? Oh, it was an awful shame. At this point, in my experience as a pianist, people always wanted to start the chorus, but it isn't time yet. When Mrs. Murphy dished the chowder out, she fainted on the spot. Oh, she found a pair of overalls, and, you know, she was a heavy woman, in the bottom of the pot. Tim Nolan, he got ripping mad. His eyes were bulging out. He jumped up on the piano. The what? The piano. And loudly he did shout, "Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder?" Nobody answered, so they hollered all the louder, "It's an Irish trick that's true. I can lick the Mick who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder." They dragged the pants from out the soup and laid them on the floor. Each man swore upon his life he'd never seen them before. They were plastered up with mortar and were worn out at the knee. They'd had their many ups and downs, as we could plainly see. And when Mrs. Murphy, she came to, she began to cry and pout. She'd had them in the wash that day and forgot to take them out. Having a little sip, I think. Tim Nolan, he excused himself for what he'd said that night, so we put music to the words and sang with all our might. Ready? Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder? Nobody answered, so they hollered all the louder, "It's an Irish trick that's true. I can lick the Mick who threw." Put 'em up. The overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And we won't be having soup tonight. That's for sure.
Nor nuts either. Good night.
Good night.